Hey guys, Curtis here, tip of the day 61. Just gonna go over something quick. This won't take long, but it's just something to be aware of when you're trying to move around a table is find the natural first, then put spin. What I'm about to tell you applies to a lot of really good players that are making this mistake. So I don't care if you're a beginner or a real good player, just knowing this one little tip might help you with your accuracy in moving around the table. So the concept here is to find the natural first. And there's a lot of straight pool players, like the Europeans and the Chinese players, they use a lot of center ball. The reason they use a lot of center ball is more predictable, but also it's not that they don't use right and left. It's when they do use one tip, it's with purpose. What happens with a lot of players, myself, I was really guilty of this, still am, but I'm getting much better at it. It's you put spin on everything, and you can move around, and it's fun, and you can actually be very effective with it. However, you get to that point where you're more general. You're not as accurate. And I'll give you a great example. Right here, if I had to come around, let's say the 8 ball, if I'm playing 8 ball, let's say the 8 ball is down here. Call it the 8 ball, doesn't matter. So let's say the 8 ball is down here. Almost everyone's going to put their top right away is to put a lot of right hand spin to open this up. But if we don't need right, obviously it's easier to do it, meaning to find natural lines. I can do this by just sliding it down here and here and in here. It's not that right is wrong, it's you're adding something that is more difficult that doesn't need to be, but also if I did put a little bit of right, it would change slightly where I went if I knew where natural was. In this stage, everyone skips that. Even very good players, they just put a little right to get to here, no one to get here. But there's a mistake in the thought process there because they never found natural first. So in this case, no right here. I just want to show you something. So if I cut this in, it's coming right into here and then down the line, right? So why am I putting right? The answer is it's just habitual. And there's nothing wrong with sometimes putting right, but not if you haven't learned how to do it. Trust me, and the other thing is you have to put right on. So therefore, you're executing something. Here, I'm just letting it do its thing. If I cut this in into the center of the pocket, it's just speed. Coming here, coming here. Okay? So I just wanted everyone to be aware of that. That if you're going to put right and left, do it with purpose, but find the natural first. Start moving around in the most natural way, and then when you put one right tip, it'll be to open it up. You're really going to start to see the natural lines so that when I put the right tip, I'm doing it with a purpose, okay? So that's something to be aware of. I don't care if you're a great player. That's something that can really help you out. Try and find natural lines and then put one tip of right and left. And really, you don't hardly ever need more than one tip if you do. So that's another thing, especially if you're sliding down the lines naturally. Okay? Thanks. That was tip of the day 61, and I'll be back with 62.